Welcome to Kids Academy.
The power of play. What is play-based learning? Part 2. What are the specific benefits of play-based learning in preschool? Preschool is where play-based learning branches off into different types because these children are often enrolled in early learning programs at daycare facilities or participate in preschool programs. Most of what was described above for babies and toddlers referenced what is known as free play. This is a play that is child-directed and completely flexible. While parents or caregivers may engage infants and toddlers with interactive songs, much of their play is on the ground, interacting with toys, peers, pets, and parents, all while being voluntary and child-led. Guided play is different in that teachers and caregivers have a more active role in encouraging the play and can vary in how guided or free it turns out. This type of play is incorporated into preschool curriculums and gives teachers more control over when and how kids play throughout their class. Guided play takes many forms, including leading children into inquiry through experiments, or allowing for time to play with pretend kitchen sets, cash registers, play money, and puzzles to advance a specific topic, goal, or concept within the time frame of that class. The benefits of such guided play are many. According to the REL article mentioned earlier, the most effective manner of teaching preschoolers includes embedded periods of play with short spurts of direct instruction to connect ideas from play to what they learned in class. Consequently, play-based learning assists preschoolers in learning specific social and academic skills and concepts. What are the benefits of play-based learning for kindergartners and beyond? Even as elementary students enter kindergarten and advance through their primary years of schooling, play continues to play an integral role in their learning. Turning once again to the article by the Hetchinger Report, research shows that the ability to learn from watching videos and through direct teacher lectures tends to develop later as kids grow older. Instead, young children learn from experience rather than through listening. Likewise, research has long shown that kids have much shorter attention spans than adults, usually with only the ability to listen and stay focused for about 2 to 3 minutes per year of their age. For a kindergartner who is 5 years old, this equates to only 10–15 minutes before that student shuts down. Play-based learning remains the most effective way for school-aged kids to learn and can take many more forms, such as through more complex games, imaginative play, puzzles, or through guided play that tasks kids with solving problems. As for specific benefits for this age group, play-based learning can positively impact a child's imagination and creativity, literacy and language skills, social and emotional skills, fine and gross motor skills, confidence and self-esteem. Similarly, it is widely accepted that kids who participate in youth sports benefit in many of the same ways that are mentioned above. That's because when children play a team sport, they are doing exactly what we have been talking about all along, playing a game and connecting play with learning. Through sports, players build confidence, form relationships with peers and coaches, and communicate with one another to be successful in the game. Play in the classroom and at home, whether it's with peers or individually, allows children to practice and learn the same skills in almost the same way. Because kids learn through experience, they continue to learn regardless of the type of play in which they engage. Are there any disadvantages to play-based learning? Of course, the adage that nothing in life is perfect rings true, even with something as beneficial as play-based learning. The biggest disadvantage to play-based learning isn't play itself, but has to do with its structure, or lack thereof. The first issue that can arise is that children are exposed to too much free play without any guidance whatsoever. Don't get us wrong, opportunities for unstructured free play are vitally important to a child's growth and development. However, as with anything else, too much of a good thing is not necessarily beneficial. In fact, there is an entire movement related to the idea of allowing young children to learn entirely through unstructured play and exploration called unschooling. Due to its unstructured nature, unschooling varies wildly amongst families who practice it with their kids. As a result, there is limited research and data to prove that it is effective. Even so, it is plausible to suggest that a curriculum with too much unstructured play can result in unfavorable outcomes due to the research we do have that suggests that guided play that connects play with lessons and learning objectives is highly effective for school-age children, especially as they grow older. In that way, it can be stated that too much unstructured free play may not be beneficial, and that growing kids may fall below the accepted grade level. On the other side of the spectrum, too much structure could morph play-based learning into something that is more like hard work and less like play. With too much guidance, teachers or parents can unwittingly zap the fun out of learning by placing more emphasis on difficult skills than on exploration, creativity, and play. Essentially, play-based learning activities should be balanced to provide learners with guided learning experiences that still allow for freedom to explore their creativity and imagination. Sometimes, free play is important and necessary, especially while at home, while guided learning activities can weave fun, playful experiences into brief lessons that can help to solidify their learning. How can parents implement play-based learning at home? As a parent, you may be wondering what you can do to support play-based learning while the kids are at home and away from school or daycare. To get started, try the following. Plan in chunks of time throughout the day that are dedicated to play. It often seems that life has never been busier than it is now, especially with an ever-growing list of things to do, such as work, shopping, traveling, hobbies, and classes taking up so much of our time. Even so, it's important to make time to allow kiddos to play throughout the day. Decide which chunks of time will be dedicated to free play and those in which you can join. Go ahead, sit down, and put your feet up. What do you notice? More than likely, your child has started to play on their own, perhaps with toys, or maybe by constructing a pretend game. Allowing kids to play on their own is essential to their development, as is giving yourself a breather is essential to your well-being. When carving out chunks of time dedicated to play, plan ahead to determine which will be independent play, and when you can get down on the floor and play with them at their level. When you do, let your child direct the play, but feel free to make suggestions or find ways to connect their play to something they may be learning at the moment. Minimize distractions by turning off the TV and electronics. There's no doubt that electronics, especially when considering learning apps and games, can complement a child's early education. However, screens should not be a substitute for hands-on play, and turning them off is an important step when engaging in a hands-on activity. When engaging in guided play with your child, ask questions about what they're doing or thinking. Teachers often reinforce learning by asking probing questions that allow kids to think about what they're doing. Not only does this allow them to practice vocabulary and communication skills, but it also helps them to process what it is they're doing and why, to practice critical thinking skills. Introduce new play materials like Play-Doh, kinetic sand, or slime. As mentioned earlier, sensory experiences are incredibly important, especially for preschoolers and younger children as they build an understanding of their world and the common materials within it. A variety of different textures also allows them to experiment and learn fundamentals about matter in an extraordinarily fun way. Don't be afraid to incorporate everyday household objects. Add a new dimension to your child's play by allowing them to bang on pots and pans with a wooden spoon or play with measuring cups and spoons in the kitchen. Get them a pair of tongs to see how they can learn to use them to pick up their toys or other fun objects or materials. Head outdoors to explore. The outdoors provides a practically endless arena for play as kids explore the sights, sounds, and textures when they play outside. What are some more examples of play-based learning that can be implemented at home? Options for both free and guided playtime are endless at home. Try some of the following fun ways to pique your child's creativity and curiosity. Dress up. Bring out the Halloween costumes or head to a thrift shop to pick out different styles of clothes that your child can use. Dress up encourages kids to use their imagination while strengthening their communication skills as they negotiate rules and scenario specifics with any peer or parent they are playing with. Children love making up new scenarios and pretending to be someone new, and parents enjoy seeing the exciting ideas they invent. Building with blocks, Lincoln Logs, and Connects. Blocks are always a great choice to inspire kids to get creative and build something new. Building toys also come in a variety of brands and styles, so don't be afraid to get different sets to keep their play fresh and exciting. For guided play, challenge your child to build something specific, such as creating a skyscraper out of K'NEX. Playing with dolls or figurines. Dolls and action figures are a favorite pastime of children everywhere, and for good reason. They allow kids to imitate common scenarios they observe in the world around them. For instance, a toddler may watch how their parents interact with and feed a baby brother or sister, and the toddler may practice feeding their doll in the same way. This gives young learners a way to practice what they have observed while allowing them the freedom to build upon their play by creating imaginary scenarios. Imaginative play. While this may seem like a generic idea, imaginative play is at the heart of any pretend game that kids commonly want to play with their peers, such as playing house or doctor. Toys are specifically created with pretend games in mind, as kids can use pretend kitchen sets, houses, doctor kits, and more during their games. With imaginative play, the sky is the limit. Any commonly observed task is fair game, as kids can pretend to be anything from doctors to police officers. Role play. Kids naturally play different roles when they engage in imaginative pretend games, but role play can also take the form of acting. Encourage kids to create and perform mini-plays, such as puppet shows. In doing so, they will practice using effective communication skills as they plan and present their performance. By now, it should be evident that play-based learning is an extraordinarily important aspect of a young child's development from infancy through elementary school. When playing, kids learn through experience, developing a vast array of skills, including social rules, emotional regulation, communication skills, as well as foundational academic skills, just to name a few. Children need a mixture of both free and guided playtime to maximize their learning, and play should be a regular part of their lives, both at home and at school. For parents and caregivers, the answers to the commonly asked questions above can serve as a starting point to implement a routine of play at home to complement a child's education and healthy development. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to Kids Academy for Teachers. See you next time.